This is Race City Speedway in Calgary, Alberta, and the Molson Canadian Superbike Challenge for the Castrol Cup. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Gonzalez in warm and sunny Calgary for round number 4 of the Canadian Superbike Championship. With me is Craig Hill of Castrol, Canada. And Craig, this is the tightest points race for the Superbike title and #1 plate we've had in years.
Oh, you bet, Pat. You know, Michel Mercier, he came out of the blocks this year with back-to-back wins that just made him look fabulous. As a matter of fact, he topped that off with a 4th-place finish in the World Superbike round at Mosport. Rode extremely well against the world's best. And I guess everybody thought going into Shannonville, his home racetrack, that he would just walk away with all the marbles. Well, unfortunately, he made that one mistake. He talked to us earlier about that thing, earlier in the year, about that one mistake that you can make that changes the complexion of everything. He didn't finish the race, and as a result, Pascal Piquet and himself came into this race tied for the championship lead.
Well, here's what Craig was talking about as we look taking the Superbike heat race and picking up those all-important 2 championship points, Craig.
And so the Superbike Championship point standings now look like this. Michel Mercier has 38, Piquet 36, followed by Gannett with 30, Jeff Gaynor 19, Benoit Pilon 16, John Ramsey has 10, along with Michael Taylor. And then it's Lindley Clark and Tom Douglas with 9, then Ruben McMurder, and the 1989 Superbike champion Steve Crevier tied for 10th with 8 points each. And so the championship is still very much up in the air as we go into this 4th event. And Pat, this is a horsepower track, and the speeds here today could really separate the men from the boys.
Well, no 100 production event where Nova Scotia's John Ramsey heads the point standings going into today's final. We'll be back at Race City Speedway for our first race right after this. Back to Race City Speedway and the Molson Canadian Superbike Challenge for the Castrol Cup. The riders have completed their warm-up lap for our first race this afternoon, the Pro 600 production final. John Ramsey, the points leader coming in here to Calgary, was only 3rd fastest in qualifying, but he'll start on the front row. The other rider to watch is Tommy Douglas. He'll be starting in the back row on a backup machine. Now here's Craig Hill with a starting grid.
On row 1, it's Denis Royer. Next to him, it's Piquet, Alberta's Chuck Downey, and John Ramsey. Row 2 has Brisson, then 2 Calgary riders, Jim DeWitt and Stan Vanderhelm.
DeWitt will be among the crowd favorites here this afternoon. There's row 3, Dwight McKinley, Fletcher, Michael Taylor, and Murray Cliff on a Honda. In row number 4, it's Ralph Winnett and Tommy Douglas. Tommy having problems yesterday with his #1 machine. As we said, he's on a backup bike. Larry Tate with the Canadian flag in the air. It is down the field away. Pascal Piquet, number 21, and 85, Denis Royer in a drag race down this big, long straightaway here at Race City. These motorcycles will reach speeds of upwards of 130 miles an hour. Here is Piquet, number 21, Royer, 85, looks up the inside, and Denis Royer will take the lead as the riders head into turn 1. Now they flick the 600cc production machines right, and it's Yamaha's running 1-2 as Denis Royer, 85, takes the lead. 21, Piquet. This is Westwood Motorsports.